Assalamualaikum student. Dr. Nimish Shahat, your course instructor is here. Today this is our 18th lecture. This lecture is a continuity of our previous lecture. As in our previous lecture, we have started this topic, bacteriophage genetics. In previous lecture, we have talked about infection of bacteria by bacteriophages. So today we will continue our previous lecture. Let's start. What is phage cross? In previous lecture, we focused on the bacteriophage and its host bacterium. What kind of the relation they have and how they take part in producing recombinant type of the genetic makeup, recombinant type of the genome. So in this lecture today we will focus on the bacteriophage types or strain of bacteriophage, strain 1, strain 2, like this, and how strains exchange their genetic material with each other. Phage cross: can we cross two phages in the same way as we cross two bacterial strain? What will be the answer? Partially we say yes, but here in this case we need a third party to cross two bacteriophage strains. Third party is the bacterium. A phage cross can be explained by a cross of T2 phages, originally studied by the Alfred Hershey. The genotype of two parental strain of T2 phage in Hershey's cross were H negative, R positive, cross with H positive, R negative. Student, what is this? This is actually two genotypes with difference of these two alleles. What type of the alleles? H negative, H positive, two different alleles, R positive, R negative, other two different alleles for the same gene. The alleles are identified by following characters. H negative can infect two different E. coli strains like strain 1 and strain 2, while H positive can infect only strain 1. Then what is R? R negative rapidly lyses cells, so producing large plaques, and R positive mean slowly lyses cells, so producing small plaques. R negative producing large plaques, R positive producing small plaques. Why difference? Because of the rapidly lyses and slowly lyses. In the cross, E. coli strain 1 is infected with both parental T2 phage genotypes. Ratio at a phage bacteria concentration that is high enough to ensure that a large percentage of the cells are simultaneously infected by both phage types. This kind of infection is called a mixed infection or a double infection. One bacterial strain, bacteria E. coli, infected with the two bacteriophages. I will show you diagram on the next slide. The phage lysate is then analyzed by spreading it onto a bacterial lawn composed of a mixture of strain 1 and 2. फर्स्ट इसमें T2 फेजेस को अटैक करवाया गया है इकोलाई स्ट्रेन 1 पे, फिर इसको हम कह रहे हैं डबल इन्फेक्शन। फिर इसके डबल इन्फेक्शन के रिजल्ट के तौर पे जो लाइसेट हासिल होते हैं, फेज लाइसेट। फेज लाइसेट क्या है? जो बैक्टीरियोफेज वहाँ से उस बैक्टीरिया के सेल से रिलीज़ होंगे, उनको हम कहते हैं फेज लाइसेट। उन फेज लाइसेट्स को बैक्टीरिया लॉन के ऊपर जो है हम स्प्रेड करेंगे। बैक्टीरियल लॉन किसका होगा? इकोलाई स्ट्रेन 1 और 2 दोनों का होगा। सो 4 plaque types are then distinguishable. Why 4 type? 2 were the parental type and 2 were the new recombinants. New type, that is the recombinants. These 4 genotypes can be scored easily by parental and recombinants. And a frequency of recombinants can be calculated by using a formula. You just look here. Parental type is H negative, R positive, H positive, R negative. These are parental type genotype. And recombinant type is H positive, R positive, H negative, R negative. So we can use this formula to calculate recombination frequency. You have already studied recombination frequency in eukaryotes, then in prokaryotes. RF value is actually recombinants, both recombinants, H positive, R positive plus H negative, R negative divided by total number of plaques. By using this formula, we can calculate recombination frequency in bacteriophage. Other diagram is showing the double infection or mixed infection. As I have told you in previous slide, E. coli strain 1 infected by the 2 different genotypes of bacteriophage. This bacteriophage is T4 bacteriophage. When we spread phage lysate onto the bacterial lawn, then what kind of the result will be there? Look here, plaques phenotypes produced by progeny of cross H negative, R positive cross with H positive, R negative, that is parental type. And enough phages of each genotype are added to ensure that most bacterial cells are infected with at least one phage of each genotype. After lysis, progeny phages are collected and added to an appropriate E. coli lawn. 4 plaque phenotypes can be differentiated, represented by 2 parental type and 2 recombinants. You just focus on this battery plate, H negative, R positive. This is parental type. H positive, R negative is also parental type. H negative, R negative, H positive, R positive is the recombinant type. So here 4 different genotypes are present, 2 parental type and 2 recombinants. This table is actually showing progeny phage plaque types from cross of parental types genotype. We know parental type H negative, R positive, other is H positive, R negative. Phenotype and their infrared genotype. If we say phenotype is clear and small, then H negative, R positive. H negative for clear, small for R positive. Cloudy and large, H positive, R negative. Cloudy and small, H positive, R positive. Clear and large, H negative, R negative. So clearness is produced by the H negative allele, which allow infection of the both bacterial stain in the lawn. Cloudiness is produced by H positive allele, which limits infection to the cell of the strain 1. If we assume that entire phage genomes recombine, then single exchanges can occur and produce viable reciprocal products. Unlike bacterial crosses where two crossover events are required. First, several rounds of the exchange can potentially occur within the host. A recombinant produced shortly after the infection may undergo further exchange at later times. सो स्टूडेंट, जब हम कहते हैं कि इंटायर फेज जीनोम जो है वो रिकम्बाइन कर रहा है, तो इस केस में ये इनके जो इन्फेक्शन का प्रोसेस है वो अगेन एंड अगेन होगा। मैनी टाइप इन टाइम जो है ये इन्फेक्शन करेगा, तो फिर पॉसिबिलिटी है कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा रिकम्बिनेशन हो और ये 4 टाइप जीनोटाइप हमें हासिल हो। यानी कि फर्स्ट बैक्टीरियोफेज जब अटैक करता है, फिर उसके बाद लेटेक्स साइकिल है, वहाँ से फेज लाइसिएट रिलीज़ होते हैं, अगेन फिर अटैक करते हैं और इस सेल पे फिर वहाँ से रिलीज़ होते हैं, फिर अटैक करते हैं। इस तरह ये कंटिन्यू रहेगा। तो फिर हम कह सकते हैं कि मैक्सिमम जो जीनोम है वो रिकम्बाइन उसने किया है और डिफरेंट जीनोटाइप्स हासिल हुई हैं। सेकंड इज़ द रिकम्बिनेशन कैन अकर बिटवीन genetically similar phages as well as between different types. So P1 cross with P1, P1 mean phase 1, phase 1 cross with phase 1 and phase 2 with phase 2 and occur in additional to the phase 1 with phase 2. For both of these reasons, recombinants from phage crosses are consequences of a population of the events rather than defined single step exchange events. So here in this case, this process repeat many times, then we can get different type of the genotypes. However, all other things being equal, the recombination frequency calculation does represent a valid index of map distance in phages. Next is the R2 system. What is the R2 system in bacteriophage crosses? Sember-Benzer's work in 1950 defined the phage cross to point where extremely small level of the recombination could be detected. This work led to a greater understanding of nature of fine structure of the gene. The key point to this work was the development of a system that allowed selection of the rare recombinants. This system used R2 genes of phage T4. R2 system is a actually system of R2 genes. R for lysis, cell lysis. इस केस में यहाँ पे R1 और R2 genes हैं. One type of the mutant T4 phage produced larger ragged plaques. These were R mutants. R mean rapid lysis mutants. Benzer mapped mutation responsible for the hard phenotype to two loci, R1 and R2. R1 R2 दो loci हैं, locus हैं जहाँ पे ये जीन पाया जाता है R2 सिस्टम में। म्यूटेड टाइप और इसकी म्यूटेशन को आगे स्टडी किया है. ही देन स्टडी R2 mutants intensively. One extraordinary property of the R2 mutants made all of the Benzer work possible. R2 mutants have a different host range from that of the wild type phages. तो इसमें R2 जो है बेसिकली ये म्यूटेंट्स टाइप के फेजेस हैं. इनके इस जीन में म्यूटेशन आई हुई है जिस वजह से इनको म्यूटेंट कह रहे हैं. टू रिलेटेड but different strain of E. coli, that is B and K, E. coli B and E. coli K, can be used as different host for the phage T4. Both bacterial strain can distinguish R2 mutants from wild type phages. E. coli B allow both to grow, but plaques of the different sizes result. Wild type phages produce small plaques and R2 mutant produce large plaques. So इसमें E. coli B जो है वो R2 mutant और वाइल्ड टाइप दोनों को जो है वो ग्रो करने की इजाज़त देता है अपने ऊपर. तो उस केस में जो वाइल्ड टाइप फेजेस हैं स्मॉल प्लाक्स प्रोड्यूस करेंगे, वाइल R2 म्यूटेंट जो है लार्ज प्लाक्स प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. देन व्हाट अबाउट E. coli K? ये तो E. coli B की नेचर है. E. coli K क्या करेगा? E. coli K do not permit growth of the R2 mutants, but it allow wild type phages to grow. E. coli K पे सिर्फ वाइल्ड टाइप ग्रो कर सकते हैं, म्यूटेंट ग्रो नहीं करेंगे. तो देन यहाँ पे हम इनका फिर आउटपुट देख सकते हैं, आगे जाके स्टडी कर सकते हैं कि अगर इनके दरमियान में रिकम्बिनेशन हो म्यूटेंट और वाइल्ड टाइप के दरमियान में तो क्या ये E. coli K पे भी फिर ग्रो कर सकते हैं. अगर ये म्यूटेंट जो हैं E. coli K पे भी ग्रो कर सकते हुए तो इट्स मीन के इनके दरमियान में जेनेटिक रिकम्बिनेशन हुई है जिस वजह से उसने वो एबिलिटी अटेन कर ली है कि ये E. coli K पे भी ग्रो कर सकता है. अब एंड द R2 mutants are then conditional mutants because namely we say mutants that can grow under one set of the condition but not another. E. coli B is said to be permissive for R2 mutants. Why permissive? Because it allows phage growth, whereas E. coli K is said to be non-permissive for R2 mutants because it does not allow phage growth. This table is showing the plaques phenotypes produced by different combination of E. coli and phage strains. T4 phage strain is a R2 and R2 plus. R2 plus is actually wild type and R2 is a mutant. What's their behavior about B and K, E. coli B and E. coli K? R2 produce large plaques and round on B, but इसमें R2 जो है K के ऊपर नो प्लाक्स, कोई प्लाक्स नहीं बना रहा क्योंकि ये म्यूटेंट टाइप है. अभी हमने इसकी पीछे बात की है. और R2 प्लस जो है ये वाइल्ड टाइप है, स्मॉल और रेक्ट. रेक्ट मीन होती है जो इसमें डिस्टर्ब किस्म की जो पहले इसमें वो प्लाक्स बन रही होती हैं, डिस्टर्ब्ड, नो प्रॉपरली अरेंज, नो प्रॉपरली शेप जो है वो प्लाक्स इसमें होती है. तो के E. coli K के हवाले से भी R2 प्लस जो है स्मॉल और रेक्ट प्लाक्स देगी. नेक्स्ट इज द सिलेक्शन इन जेनेटिक क्रॉसेस ऑफ बैक्टीरियोफेजेस. सिलेक्शन कैसे में की जा सकती है? जीनोटाइप्स के हवाले से। बेंजर crossed various R2 mutants of T4 phage and obtained recombination frequencies, which he then used to map mutation within the R2 gene region. R2 म्यूटेंट को फोकस करके तो स्टडी किया गया कि इनकी रिकम्बिनेशन फ्रीक्वेंसी जो कैसे फाइंड की जा सकती है। Let's see how this works. Suppose we wish to cross two R2 mutants and recover wild type recombinants. Because wild type and R2 mutants make plaques that can be distinguished from each other, we could cross two different R2 mutants in E. coli B and examine the progeny on E. coli B. And this figure has been shown on next slide. Hoping to find among the large parental R2 plaques, if the recombination frequency is high enough to yield from 2 to 3% or more wild type plaques, then this method would be the sufficient. However, for recombination that is less frequent than 1%, a lot of the work would be required to generate a map of the numerous R2 mutation. Look here in this figure. This figure shows the process of recombination. Permit parts of the DNA of the two different phage mutants to be reassembled in a new DNA molecule that may contain both mutation or neither of them. Mutants obtained from two different cultures are introduced into a broth of E. coli strain B. Crossing occur when DNA from each mutant type infect a single bacterial cell. Most of the DNA replicas are of one type or the other, but occasionally recombination will produce either a double mutant or a wild type recombinant containing neither mutation. So instead of plating the progeny phages from the cross on E. coli B, however, we could plate the progeny of E. coli K so that only the wild type recombinant phages could grow. Even if the recombination frequency is very low, near to 0.01%, we could easily detect recombinant wild type phages. Why? Because a typical phage lysate from such an infection contain in excess of 10 to the power 9 phages per ml. If we mix 0.1 ml of such a phage lysate with 0.1 ml of E. coli K bacteria, then we will have more than 10 to the power 5 wild type recombinants phage infecting the bacteria when the recombination frequency is 0.01%. Now we can see the power of benzos R2 E. coli B and K system. In a single milliliter, it can find one recombinant and revertant per 10 to the power 9 organism. Contrast to this with trying to find the one recombinant in 10 to the power 9 Drosophila or in 10 to the power 9 mice. After we have made our cross, we need to determine the recombination frequency. First, we count the number of the active virus particles or plaque forming units. PFU। इसमें हम वायरस के एक्टिव पार्टिकल्स को काउंट करेंगे, या जिसको हम कहते हैं प्लाग फार्मिंग यूनिट्स PFU। एंड देन ग्रू ऑन द E. coli K and the number that grew on E. coli B. The recombinant frequency can then be calculated as twice the number of the PFU on E. coli K.